Hey folks, how's it going? Um, I'm back. Just so you're aware, I was down with a very serious upper respiratory infection for about 4 weeks, maybe a little bit more. I had started to get a little bit better, or at least feel a little bit better, and then I got out working at my forge. Plus, I work at my new job. I work somewhat exposed to the elements, so that kind of set me back. To be honest, I didn't think I was ever going to get over it. Um, that is going to be a subject of another video, but I did want to let you know why I hadn't been uploading any videos. Because up until just a couple of days ago, I have barely been able to talk or talk without coughing. Um, and I have not felt good whatsoever. All right. In today's video, though, what I want to talk about are my priorities for prepping in 2024. 2023 was a very challenging year, uh, both for the world in general but also for me on a personal level, uh, because I lost my job at the end of 2022. I had went several months trying to kick my one of my side businesses into full time, and I had a little rough spot with that, so that didn't go quite as well as it could have, as I'd hoped. Uh, and then I had some other personal setbacks later on. I found me another job. Things aren't going necessarily great at that new job. It's a challenge, both the job itself and the people that I have to work with. Um, but right now I can't complain. I have to work. I have to make money. So I'm going to do the job regardless. But it's been a rough year. It's been a rough year. And because of that, because of everything that's been happening in the world and everything that I've personally gone through myself this past year, I thought it would be good to do a video on what my priorities are for 2024. And understand that I'm not making this as uh, a New Year's resolution type of video. That is not my intention because New Year's resolutions are ultimately doomed to failure regardless. So instead of making a resolution that I'm doing this, and this, uh, I'm setting certain things as priorities in my life over the next year. Um, whether or not I can do them as consistently as I would like, we'll see. I'm going to work at it as best I can. But some of the things that I wanted to focus on, uh, and not this is not in any particular order or uh, priority. Uh, this is just the different things that I want to focus on. The first is my garden. Last year, I wasn't able to do anywhere near what I wanted to with my garden. There were some challenges that I yet to overcome, and I really miss being able to get out in the garden and work it and see uh, the result of having a lot of huge production out of my garden. The last year or two has been really disappointing in that. So one of my priorities for this year is I want to try to solve those problems that I've been having with the garden and try to get that production back to where I used to have it. Um, the next thing is continuing to develop my side hustles and my business. Uh, Now, you may be asking, what has this got to do with prepping? Well, this past year, on a personal level, I've found that, have relying on one source of income is not a great idea. Now, to be fair, I've been doing these side hustles all along, but it's just a little bit of money here and there. It's nothing steady, it's nothing substantial. And I want to change that. I really do. Because after losing my job and living on my savings to try to get my side hustle into full time and ultimately not succeeding in that, it's just it's been an awakening to me. I guess you could say that I really need to get these side hustles going and producing more income than what they actually are. Because you never know when you might lose your job. I'd been at my last job for 17 years, and I could see the writing on the wall in a way, but still, even though I could see that it could come at any time, I still got a little bit complacent. And that was a mistake on my part. And so, what this has to do with prepping is you've got to have more than one income stream coming uh, in the event that you lose one. Then you're not living off your savings, draining your retirement or whatever. You, if you have more than one income stream coming in, you're going to be much more secure uh, no matter what happens. That's more money coming in to help with bills. It's more money coming in to help with food. If you get laid off or let go or whatever, or if you get injured and are unable to work, you you could potentially still have other streams of income coming in. It might not be as much as your main source, but it every little bit helps. The next thing I wanted to set as a priority is I've been prepping for several years now, and I've been stacking food, I've been stacking ammo, I've been firearms, gear, and all of that. But this year, I really want to focus more on training and skill development and improving the skills that I do have. As I've said in one of my previous videos, stacking all the guns and ammo you can, that's fine. But at some point, you've got to really invest some time and money into training so that you can use those items effectively. Uh, and that pretty much goes with prepping in general. A lot of preppers seem to focus solely on stacking items, stacking gear. They'll buy gear, build a bug out bag, and shove it in the closet. They'll buy guns and ammo, shove them in a gun locker, and forget about them and think, when the time comes, I'll be able to use them effectively. And it's not just guns and ammo, it's the gear in your bug out bags, your backup power source, your water filtration systems, uh, your water collection systems, your food production systems. All of these things you can't just buy and forget. I see so many people doing that, investing in gear but not investing the time to develop the skills that they need to use that gear. Another perfect example of that is these survival seed vaults that you see. Lots of places have them. They're usually these cans, vacuum sealed or bags, something like that, where it's got hundreds and hundreds of seeds in it, and it's designed to be tossed in a tote or a storage bin or whatever and forgotten about. There is a major learning curve to gardening. And if you do not take the time to develop that skill set, that knowledge base, and find out what grows good in your area, because not everything's going to grow good for everybody. Some plants do better in some areas and some plants do better in others. You have to find out what works in your area, in your climate, and to be honest with gardening, what grows good for somebody 20 miles away from me might not grow good for me, because we're not only talking about microclimates, we're also talking about soil conditions, and fertilizers, and very localized pests and infestations, or uh, diseases. So all of those things can happen in very small localized areas. They can have a major impact. So whether it's gardening, whether it's medical skills, whether it's communication skills for like uh, ham radio, uh, firearms training, tracking, survival, primitive skills, things like that. Whatever it is that you like to do, I would recommend focusing on those skill sets, adding to your skill sets, and improving the ones you already have, because that's one of my priorities this year. I am horrible at working on things like weed eaters, chainsaws, generators, things like that. That's something I really need to improve on. That is definitely not one of my skill sets, and is one I would like to improve on. But on the flip side of that, I'm decent at tracking. I'm decent at several primitive survival skills. I want to improve on those. Uh, Again, the small engine repair and maintenance. I'm horrible at that, but that's one that I want to develop. Communication. I'm a ham radio operator. I have my license class, my technician's class license, but I want to upgrade that to general so that I can use better equipment to communicate farther distances. So things like that. And with firearms, there's always room for improvement no matter who you are. Medical skills, a subject of an upcoming video. Uh, there's always room for improvement no matter what your skill level is. I used to be an EMT. Uh, I haven't been active at that in a long, long time. I'm talking years and years and years. But I need to refresh myself on a lot of that. I need to fill in the gaps on some things that I've missed, because a lot of that information gets updated through the years, and what I learned in school may not be the current recommended practices. So, as always, at least for me, focusing on a little while on training and skills and improvement of those, to me, I think I need to make that a priority this year. Uh, Physical fitness. Now, this is something that I'm not great at. My biggest problem is consistency, because I get caught up with trying to do everything that I need to do. I've got my job, I've got my side hustles, I've got my home life, and you know it's hard to maintain all of this stuff when life gets really busy and hectic. Unfortunately, I'm getting older, and this is because of my family history. There are certain medical conditions that I'm concerned about. Uh, they do weigh heavy on my mind, so I want to be healthier as I get older. And not to mention, as a prep, that itself is important, because if the if it hits the fan and we end up in an SHTF scenario, and I'm talking about grid down, without rule of law type thing, if you're not physically fit, uh, you are really going to suffer, and you might not even make it. You might not even survive. So physical fitness is another priority of mine for this year. And finally, it may seem a little ridiculous to some, but having fun, getting out and doing some of the things that I love to do that I haven't done in a long, long time. I used to love to go hiking, camping, go on road trips. uh, and do all kinds of things like that. Unfortunately, I lost several years ago. I lost a family member, and I guess you could say I got hit with a little bit of a depression. I got I started becoming really sedentary. I wasn't doing anything, but I would work, come home, watch TV, do something simple or basic like that to relax, and that contributed to me getting out of shape and unhealthy. But also, I gave up a lot of the things that I used to love to do. I don't do anywhere near the hiking and camping and road trips that I used to do because I got so focused on I would go to work, come home, do what I had to do, and then I would just sit down and watch TV. And I understand that that was a coping mechanism at the time. Um, I was dealing with a lot because at this time I also had a relationship that fell apart at the same time that I lost this family member. So that I got hit with two major things at the same time. Um, but yeah, it's been wow, it's been 7 years, and I've only gone on one or two road trips since then. I had to actually stop and think. I think there's only been two, maybe only one. I've done very little hiking. I haven't done any camping. Well, with the exception of one road trip. And those things used to bring me joy. They used to make me really happy. I loved it. And I got away from that. And at least I don't know how you feel about it, but my point of view is what's the point of prepping and doing all this stuff to be prepared to survive uh, whatever happens if you're not able to actually get out and enjoy life? A lot of people they find enjoyment in the prepping. Uh, I enjoy it to a degree, and then it becomes a lot of work also. So it's not the same thing. But yeah, after 7 years of focusing on uh, my family, my job, and then just forgetting everything else with the exception of prepping, I've been it's worn me down. It's taken its toll, and I want to get back to doing a lot of the things that I used to love to do. Uh, of course, with all of these things that I'm wanting to prioritize, I'm still I still intend to prep the normal things, stacking food, stacking ammo. And for a lot of those people in the comments, stacking and stocking up, to me, they mean the same thing. You're stocking up on it, you're stacking it to the roof. It's all the same thing, at least to me anyway. So I got a lot of those comments in one of my videos because I think I switched back and forth between the two words, and people kept asking me, "Do you mean stacking or do you mean stocking up?" Well, to me, they're the same thing. They're both the same. Anyway, uh, these are my priorities, but just because those are my priorities for this year, that doesn't mean I'm going to stop prepping all the normal things, doing all the normal prepper things. That has to continue because this 2023 was a rough year, and I expect 2024 to be even more difficult and challenging. Just what it entails, a lot of people are predicting. I would rather not at this point. Um, but I think it's going to be a rough year for everybody. So we can't let the prepping stop. We have to keep that up. But again, I'm shifting my priorities from stacking food and gear to focusing on some of these other areas, at least primarily. Anyway, that's all I've got. I appreciate you guys watching. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't. Uh, I apologize for not having any videos uploaded for so long. Uh, Again, I was down for at least 4 weeks. It seems longer than that, and I'm still not 100% right now, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Uh, but anyway, I do appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate all the comments, even some of the negative ones that I've gotten. You know, I try to take it as constructive criticism, even though some people are getting nasty. I understand there's people like that, and hey, it helps the YouTube algorithm. It helps bump me up in the searches. So what can I say? I'm not going to complain about it. Anyway, again, I appreciate you guys. I know I'm kind of rambling here at the end. It's been a long, long day. I will be back with some more videos. I've got one video about the medical that I want to cover. That'll be coming up tomorrow or the day after. I'm not entirely sure when. I've got another video on the garden that I want to do. Uh, and I've got a couple of other ideas that I think will be pretty good. And I hope you think so too when you watch them. Anyway, until next time, folks, though, I'll catch you later.